In this video, we will be exploring the aftermath of the Louisiana Purchase, particularly its impact on United States politics. As you watch this video, make sure to take some notes. If you need to, pause the video to finish your notes before moving on. The learning outcomes addressed by this video are: 1. You will be able to explain how the Louisiana Purchase impacted political discourse in the United States. 2. You will be able to describe the impact of the Louisiana Purchase on presidential power. And 3. You will be able to explain the impact of the Louisiana Purchase on constitutional interpretation. After the Louisiana Purchase took place, there was an explosion of debate between politicians in the United States about the Louisiana Purchase. The purchase dramatically increased the amount and ferocity of political discourse in the United States in 1803 and 1804. Let's start by looking at some of the different positions of the debate about the Louisiana Purchase that sprung up in 1803 and 1804. First up are the politicians who were against the Louisiana Purchase. Rufus King and Timothy Pickering, both Federalists, are two of these. They wrote letters to each other from November 1803 through March 1804. Their concerns about the purchase include: 1. The Constitution not saying anything about the executive admitting territory by treaty. 2. The uncertainty about Congress's ability to set requirements that territories must meet in order to become states. 3. The fear that the inequality of representation in Congress would be increased because of the Three-Fifths Compromise, since slavery was legal in Louisiana. 4. The fear of many wars with Native Americans because of people from the southern and western states seeking Native American land. 5. The fear of the western states separating from the Union and taking the newly purchased Louisiana territory with them. And 6. The fear of the spread of corruption. Now let's move on to those in the middle, and for this, Alexander Hamilton, a Federalist, is our example. Hamilton and Jefferson have very few, if any, political beliefs in common, and throughout their careers they butted heads many times. Surprisingly, Hamilton takes the middle ground in the debate about the Louisiana Purchase. On July 5, 1803, he penned a long memo regarding the purchase and Jefferson's role in it. Here are some of the key takeaways from the memo. First, the Louisiana Purchase was good because it gained unrestrained navigation of the Mississippi River for the United States, which will bring peace and prosperity to the West and will benefit the economy. 2. The Floridas are important territory that the United States needs control of, but the Louisiana Purchase did not include them. 3. The land west of the Mississippi River could be offered to Spain to obtain the Floridas. 4. Adding so much land in the West could lead to the West breaking away from the rest of the country and setting up its own country, or could lead to the destruction of the government of the United States. 5. The Louisiana Purchase cost a lot of money, which wasn't paid for by the Treasury. Jefferson is going to raise taxes on things that people actually need in order to pay for the territory. And 6. It wasn't explained how the Louisiana Territory is going to be governed. This could have a big effect on politics in the United States. Finally, let's move on to those who supported the purchase, the Democratic Republicans, Jefferson's political party. Samuel Brazier is our example, and he published a pamphlet supporting the purchase on May 12, 1804, hoping to gain support. The key takeaways from his pamphlet are: 1. The Louisiana Territory is very valuable, and this fact cannot be doubted or argued. 2. The Federalist Party, the enemies of the government, were very vocal about their support of acquiring the Louisiana Purchase and even advised war to get it. 3. Thomas Jefferson's government wouldn't be swayed by the loud encouragements for war and instead used policy to buy the territory. And 4. The Federalist Party is now envious and jealous of what the Democratic Republicans did, which is why they are complaining. Now that we've looked at the political positions of the debate about the Louisiana Purchase, let's look at the actual impact the purchase had on United States politics. The first impact is that the president gained a lot of power. Before the Louisiana Purchase, the president could do very little without congressional approval. The Louisiana Purchase showed that there were actions that the president could take without having to go through Congress. The second impact is that broad interpretation of the Constitution became the norm. This was a dramatic change from the years prior, when there was fierce debate between broad interpretation and strict interpretation. This impact came about because the Constitution does not explicitly give the president permission to add territory to the United States, but Jefferson did so anyway. In order to justify his decision, he had to accept a broad interpretation of the Constitution, not a strict one. I hope this video has helped you learn how the Louisiana Purchase impacted political discourse, presidential power, and constitutional interpretation. Take a few minutes and summarize the most important points from the video at the end of your notes.